Yeah, El Cap's a very intimidating formation, even with a partner, even with that moral support. So it's quite a journey to just walk up alone with a backpack full of rope and have the audacity to just go for it.
This is certainly the biggest adventure I've ever taken on. You are just out there, it feels like on an island. Today, we're embarking on an adventure to climb El Capitan in less than 24 hours, all alone. So before we get too deep, let's break down exactly what rope soloing is. It's using systems to get up a wall all by yourself with no outside help whatsoever. As you go, you belay yourself up every foot of the route. Once you get to the anchor, you tie off and then rappel down the same pitch which you just climbed to collect your gear. Once you arrive back at the start, you ascend the same pitch, covering the same ground for the third time. So essentially, you get to climb El Cap, rappel El Cap, and then ascend El Cap, all in a day. The added excitement factor is if your belay device fails, you're probably not making it home for dinner that night. So I started climbing in my mid-20s, and at the time, I had no idea that Yosemite was a thing, that El Cap even existed. Tommy Caldwell, Alex Honnold weren't names that I had ever seen or heard before. I stepped into Yosemite, had no idea what to expect, and was, of course, like all people, blown away. So rope soloing started as a means to an end. When I wanted to go up to Sickle and couldn't find a partner, I decided that I was gonna lead rope solo up to Sickle with the worst tactics anyone's ever employed. And it took me all day. For me, more is always better. So when we first did the Naiad and it took 22 hours, the thought was, okay, how can we condense that? 7 or 8 hours, great. So then what's next? Well, then came the double, right? Linking El Cap with Half Dome with a partner. Excellent adventure. Really, I first thought about it on the upper pitches of the Nose and Lurking Fear. I'm wondering, what would it be like to be up here alone? And kind of being scared of that idea. If it's a really cool formation, really good climbing, historic, and probably a high degree of suffering, I'm in. And the solo Salathe not only passes, but surpasses all of those requirements. In my mind, the Salathe is tied with only the Nose for the greatest rock climb on planet Earth. 35 beefy pitches, taking a proud line up the Captain that take an experienced team 3 to 5 days to complete. Preparing for the Salathe really made me go through my entire rack and look at every single cam, clean them. The lobes don't engage right, replace the whole cam. And I bought a brand new rope, and then a very good friend helped me acquire a silent partner, which helped me free climb quickly with less concern of backfeeding or slipping off the end of the rope to my death.
My name is Brant. I'm a big wall climber, rope soloist, and founder of Avant Climbing Innovations. I've freed 4 different routes on El Cap, and I've also rope soloed the Nose in a day. But the Salathe is really a step up in burliness, in effort, a lot of wide climbing, a lot of unprotected climbing. The Salathe has down climbs, traverses. It's really quite a bit more involved. Regular big wall speed style includes a lot of short fixing and a lot of simul climbing where you're moving continuously upwards. That's really fast, it's really efficient. And lead rope soloing is less efficient than standard multi-pitch climbing even, because you're going up the same section twice, you're rappelling, you're literally moving non-stop for those dozens of hours or however long it takes you to do the route, but you're reversing progress and repeating yourself. One of the biggest factors to save time is to take more risk, do a little bit of free soloing. And Brant just did standard straight up rope solo climbing, standard pitching, which I think is really awesome, keeping it relatively safe and accomplishing the feat through stamina and through technical mastery. Rope soloing is a funny game. It's a really neat way to go take on something audacious alone and know it's all on you to get it done. If you're not relying on a partner that's good at off-withing, good at something that you aren't good at to help get the rope up, it's all on you.
Lurking Fear is the easiest route up El Cap, taking the average party 2 to 3 days to complete. The first time that I ever climbed Lurking Fear, we climbed it in 9 hours. The next time it took us 7. So my thought was, well, if I just take that and double it, 14 hours wouldn't be too bad.
When Brant told me that he was going to solo Lurking Fear, I don't even remember how it came about. I didn't know what all went into it exactly. I didn't know the danger, and I may have felt a little more uneasy if I had.
So preparing for Lurking Fear last year, rope solo in a day attempt, I had come to Lover's Leap a few times and rope solo just after work, probably a total of 15 pitches. And to take my grand total, maybe up to 20 total pitches, lead rope soloed. So we're into a bolt. We're carrying the rope. We got the bag on and got myself on belay. Something I didn't take into account is that I hadn't led any of the first 9 pitches and that it was 93 degrees that day in the valley. I figured if I got up high enough, I could just will myself over the top. I just finished. Yay. Woohoo.
After Brant soloed Lurking Fear, I think one of the first things I asked was how it went and if he thought he would do it ever again. And, it didn't seem like it at the time. He had quite a time on Lurking Fear and was severely overheated. It was the middle of the summer. So when he finished it, I wasn't really sure if he would do it again.
After almost boiling alive on Lurking Fear, I was pretty satisfied on that being the pinnacle of my rope soloing. However, after sleeping on it, I thought, well, that only took me 17 hours. And I messed up a lot of things. I could certainly go faster. And I could certainly do bigger. So why not?
Yeah, the thing about El Cap that's unlike a lot of other cliffs is it starts kind of slabby and then just keeps getting steeper and steeper. So you don't get relief as you get higher. It doesn't round off, especially on the Salathe. That head wall's overhanging, you're 3,000 feet up, you're exhausted, you're cramping. To do it in under 24 hours is quite the undertaking. It's serious fitness, it's serious mastery of rope systems, and a little bit of guts just to go for it and try. Because if you're up 24 hours in and you're not quite to the top, there's not much of an option besides just keep going. So it's daunting even just to try.
There's Mr. Brant. So one thing that's a challenge, especially with preparing to solo the Salathe, is time. It seems like everybody out there doing big rad things is a professional climber, and that's awesome. But for the vast majority of us in the world, that's not how it goes. I, like most people, have a full-time job. I have a side hustle running a YouTube channel. And on top of that, we have a secondary side hustle of running an Airbnb in the upstairs of our house. But if it's something you truly care about, you will find the time. You'll wake up before work and train. Then on lunch, you'll train more. And then in the evening, guess what? You'll train some more. If it really matters to you enough, then tired doesn't matter, hungry doesn't matter, success matters. So before you do something crazy like try to climb El Cap by yourself in under 24 hours, you're gonna wanna do a few things. First thing is you're gonna wanna get horrible sleep for the week, shower, and then eat just an insane amount of leftover pasta. Like, just an insane amount. And that's it. You're ready to go. Starting about 8 p.m., gonna climb through the night, try to harness some cold temps, and then finish in the morning. This is certainly the biggest adventure I've ever taken on. But we're psyched!
When he told me about soloing Salathe, it just seemed really daunting. And I really had no idea how it would go. It seemed like a very, very large and demanding task. And then he decided that he wanted to try to set the record. We didn't really know how it was gonna go. Everything has to go so perfectly for that to happen.
There it is. The Salathe Wall. FA'd in 1961 by none other than the legendary Royal Robbins. What an epic dude. Loved a good adventure, so I think we'll be following in his footsteps here today. As we're getting ready, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, is this where Alex Honnold started free solo? And the answer is yes. This is the pitch right here. And Salathe actually shares about 80% of the route with Freerider. However, the cruxes are different, so we'll see what happens. Bum, 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 bum. One thing I'm definitely a little concerned about is this shoe and that much climbing to do. And I definitely overextended my knee a couple weeks ago, pretty bad. I'm kind of standing around waiting for someone to like say start, but I guess that someone's me. So start.
So when you're rope soloing, you fix your rope at the bottom, and that's kind of your belayer, that's your fixed point. The rope is tied to that anchor. So you climb the pitch up, use protection like normal, but you're belaying yourself. But once you get to the top, you can't retrieve all that gear, you can't retrieve that fixed point below you unless you rappel back down and then jug the ropes back up. You're just going up, back down, and up every single pitch. And on the Salathe, that's 30 some times across all the pitches. So you're effectively climbing El Cap twice. It's just all very complicated.
So here's the fun part. After every pitch, you get to fix yourself like so, and then rappel and clean the whole pitch, and then jug the whole pitch. Yay! And it's starting to get dark, which we love. Love the dark. And it's officially headlamp time. And I'm back on the ground and we're done. Oh wait, no. We're starting.
All right. All right. Unfortunately, the rope got stuck somewhere. So we gotta go wrap back down earlier than expected to clean this damn thing. Quick grab, and we are wrapping again. Woohoo! Oh. Since we're 6 pitches down, I'm just smash some calories. Prepare for a little bit of a swing. Not too bad though. Woo! Zip zap zoobity bop!
Brant's roped ascent was pretty standard lead rope solo tactics. He used a microtraction cash loop. You keep the brake strand of the blade device light and it auto feeds, but you're having to pump slack through. So for 3,000 feet, every single foot of rope, you're awkwardly pushing through that pre-belay device. So you pre-feed a 20-foot loop of slack, go for a while, but you have to stop and feed over and over. But what really takes time, the going back down, cleaning your gear and jugging again, that's where it really adds up. And the complications of rope soloing really come into play.
Another beautiful relic, which we're gonna clip. This is arguably my favorite part of Free Blast right here. You get some nice finger locks, you see a toad, then you step high, heroic over the roof, and then you just mob. Oh, more toads. Whoa. Someone said Totapalooza. I didn't say it was me, but I just said some people would say. Bank 0.5. Right in the kisser. A little wetter than expected. Whatever. Nothing we can do to change that. Now we get to some roof under cleaning. That is kind of surprisingly wet, honestly. Definitely a little surprised by that.
So if you were climbing the Salathe fast, you're under the aid climbing category because you are pulling on gear, but to go that fast, you're definitely doing free moves between those protection points and going 10, 20, 30 feet of just rock climbing between those. And that takes a pretty dialed lead rope solo system to do that effectively.
Inside the $50. All right, we are at Heart, which is about 1/3 total distance, but realistically, probably 1/5 of the total time. We're at 3 hours and 36 minutes, so not bad. Not perfect, but shocker, I'm not perfect. It's 11:30 p.m., which is kind of crazy. I guess everyone's asleep. I mean, I thought it was time to climb, but I guess it's time to sleep. Look at me, acting all crazy again. My shoe is still delambing, but holding on okay, I guess. Not terrible. And we're back free climping. Little did you know that I actually know how to free climp a little bit. Not much, but just a little bit. Not a lot, baby girl, just a little bit. Go on, take on your pants, pull them down just a little bit. A little bit. Get the link in a little bit. My stomach's so full of liquid. Go on, place your cam just a little bit. Take it off, plug it in just a little bit. It's real shiny just a little bit. Then I gotta extend it just a little bit. I don't have to extend it, but I'd like to extend it just a little bit. Get some jugs. Very nice. Go place a dank blue cam in a little bit. Go and use a rope cinch just a little bit. Don't be afraid to finger the bolts just a little bit. When it comes to rope soloing, the most important thing is self-talk. Knowing when to hype yourself up, when is a good time to tell yourself to shut up, and when is the right time to just turn it all off and get it done. If you can't laugh at yourself in the moment, then you should never rope solo. At least anything hard. Just a little bit. Great, how are you? Sorry for waking you. What are you guys up to?
Oh, just Salathe.
Nice, couple days?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Salathe.
Salathe today.
Yes.
Solo.
Yes.
You, man.
I wish we could check back in 10 hours.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm back looping this, so there's gonna be 2 strands of rope. They're gonna come over you, but the good news is I will not be coming back by you again and then jugging all over you again.
Oh,
Sorry.
good luck, safe journeys.
Thanks. Have a great time. Sweet.
El Cap has a lot of shenanigans, especially on the Salathe. There's a lot of off-width climbing. There's a lot of unprotected, wide climbing in general, and down climbs, traverses, and those are just logistically hard to deal with when you're on your own.
We gotta put our pants down. Okay, I think we're gonna let this go. That is a fat fucking loop. That is a fat fucking loop. Don't fall. Okay.
Arguably, the most dangerous part of the climb is the hollow flake, where you have one piece of protection between you and a 200-foot fall.
I may have an insanely long loop of slack going, but at least I got one really bomber piece.
And of course, at the end, you have to pull that piece of protection and focus on climbing perfectly.
Yeah, okay, that's pointless. Time to run it to the anchor. It's like 1 in the morning, probably. I'm certainly starting to get a little crazy with it. Voila. That was, whew, that was exciting. Glad that that's behind us. Oh, well, I guess it's gonna be hard to wrap with a gree-gree without a gree-gree. Let's wrap with an ACCC. Fucking hot. And away we go. Awesome. And while we like the rope, we got our shoes off to try to just chill for a minute, making I think pretty decent time. 5 and change to Hollow Flake. Pretty good time. It's fun to think about all the people that have been up here, including homeboy Aaron, who's done the same thing I'm doing right now. Honestly, a big part of the reason I'm doing it.
Salathe was inspired by one of my good friends, Aaron Livingston, who had done it, I believe 2 or 3 years ago, and he was only one of 4 people to have ever done it. Honestly, at first it sounded horribly daunting and improbable, because my first time up the Salathe, my partner and I took 16 hours, and even the second time with Aaron, it took us 12 hours, who had already done it himself solo. Yeah, I mean, it sounded like a proper challenge and maybe more than I was capable of at the time. But kind of the problem is he planted the idea in my head, and after that, it just grew, and there was just no stopping it.
I got a lot of shit. Doesn't feel too heavy. Maybe it's because I've been juggling with heavy ass bags, so that with just a slightly heavy bag, it's not so bad. I'm pretty psyched with how it feels so far. Oh, let's go. Oh, let's go. We're psyched. I was just informed that there's some sort of Northern Lights action going on. It's supposed to be getting a little purple and red action. Anyone else seeing that? Me neither. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
While I couldn't see it myself, my friend captured this video of my headlamp beaming in the middle of El Cap.
I don't get why everyone says the Salathe is a physical climb. I mean, it's like, it's really relaxing. Very little physicality whatsoever. We're on the top of Hollow Flake. We just led this pitch, and then now we gotta jug it. But we're feeling good. Don't know what time it is. Probably almost, I don't know, 1:30 or something. Psyched. Psyched. And we're jugging again. At least these jugs are easy. It kind of kills your toes because I just have to wear climbing shoes the entire time. But other than that, really nice. The biggest bummer is when a dank 510 crack is just so wet and dirty that you have to eat it. Not fun, but c'est la vie.
So one of Brant's tactics was to use really long pitches to minimize turnovers, transitioning from lead climbing to rappelling to jugging. That's different gear. So when you're lead rope soloing, speed climbing, it's helpful to do really long pitches. And one of the previous issues for long pitches was back feeding of rope. What you don't want happening is your rope to go backwards down the pitch while you're climbing, while your device is auto feeding, and have it pile up down where it's tied off and you not know it. That's a risk to taking a really big fall, even if you're at your piece of protection.
Okay. And always the faffiest thing is getting out of aid mode back into free mode. Oh, Piton. Check this. Oh.
The Avant soft cinches. These are a little doodad that holds the rope in place as Brant's going up the wall. Using these soft cinches, he's able to clip and cinch to manage the backfeed problem.
Oh yeah. Free mode. Seem to be unlimited moments like this. Whee! And we are in another classic, hilarious position. Placing cams on a roof. Finally got some music going after much ado. The sweetest move of the route so far, in my opinion, is you're in this corner, you gotta grab these jugs and mantle. And I think the GoPro died when I did it, but here we are on the spire. Good morning. We're up here. Spire's down there. Past the party to us, the party down there that we poop next to. I'm hoping that's gonna make me feel better, because I've kind of been on the verge of throwing up for, I don't know, 7 hours now. It's hard to eat and drink enough and then not stop moving. Your body wants to like digest and not just like, but here we go. We got a 10D pitch, which looks mostly dry, so we're psyched. And then we go into the boulder height. Here I am not freeing the very wet 512 minus pitch that everyone forgets about. Once night turned to day, and I was already 2/3 of the way up the length of the route and about halfway at time, I was really optimistic that I was going to be able to at least finish it in a day. Now, was the record on the back of my mind? Of course. Because it's not every day you have the chance to make your mark in Yosemite climbing history, especially for a bum like me. I have bad news. The f***ing pin at the top of the 12 minus pitch pulled out. Historic for sure, but sorry. What are you gonna do? Talk too much for too long. Can't give up, you're too strong. Oh, it's morning, 7 a.m. Time for another range with coffee. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You Bizzles forgot. Fizzle does not give a till the light go out, till my head burn. Can't shut my mouth, till my eyes burn out, till my head burn out. I'ma rip this shit till my bone collapse. So one thing I want to make clear is that I was not born in a climbing gym with my hands in a chalk bag. I'm not the strongest, I'm not the fastest, I'm not the most technically sound climber. I'm not special. But one thing I do have going for me is I try hard. Morning.
How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Yeah, good.
How bad's the sewer?
Well, it's wet. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Like, we were pretty stoked yesterday after
Climbing it?
We freed it, so
Did you?
yeah.
Nice. Thanks. Good job.
Thanks, man. How long have you been on the way?
Like 11 hours.
Wow. Started at like what, yesterday night?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh man.
I mean, you see someone who's awake. And you're like, oh no, this is normal. Yeah, this is fine.
Yeah.
And you pass people and everyone's asleep and you're like, okay, this is starting to feel insane. And you're like, am I losing my mind? And you're like, yes, I'm definitely losing. And you're like, am I talking to myself too? Yes, I am talking, yeah.
Yeah.
What's your name?
I'm Luan.
Luan?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Nice to meet you, dude.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Oh, have a good time.
Yeah, man, you too. The sewer is an aptly named pitch, but hearing that they had freed it the day before gave me a lot of confidence in my ability to get through it with little issue. It is almost always wet and slimy, and not necessarily inspiring for climbing, nor placing protection in. Man, sewer is mank today. Good winter though, great winter, so I can't complain. Okay, that's actually a D's. That's a D's piece. Call that a D's piece. Oh, is this long enough? Yeah, it's long enough. We got a full party going on. We got a party below me on Freerider, 2 above me on Salathe. Hopefully they don't mind me passing through. This is how you do not free the Enduros. And don't even try. Very unimpressive, I know. That's what they call a master class on how to not free the enduro corners. Holy shit. You can start climbing if you want. Me and my homie right here. Base the Enduro, just linked both Enduros into the roof. Harrison's waiting up there. We're psyched, almost 15 hours in, got a fucking rage. So after I turned my GoPro off and before I ran into the cameraman up top, I took the scariest fall of my entire life. After linking the two Enduro corner pitches up through the roof and then stared up at the head wall, I knew I was on track to beat the record. So I was just plugging cams and stepping on them. Maybe I was a little over trusting with the gear. And as I went to stand up on a 2-lobe cam, that popped, the one below it popped, the one below that popped, and then I ripped the wire on a fixed beak that was in the seam below that and whipped all the way down, 30 feet down, back to my belay. Thankfully, I had clipped a bolt on the way, and that stopped me from whipping another 30 feet. I landed back at my belay, took about 5 seconds to check and make sure that every part of my body was intact and that I wasn't bleeding, and then pulled back up and reled the section, hoping that this time that cam would hold. And it did. I've never been in such an exposed position in my entire life as a Salathe headwall. You are just out there, it feels like on an island, just you and the rock, and that's it. If you can't get up,
too bad. The rock doesn't care.
What is something else I think? All right, here we go. There are few feelings in the world as satisfying as clipping anchors when combining 3 difficult aid pitches with no chance of refilling gear. And of course, in order to make things a little more adventurous, I forgot a key piece of gear that I had only brought for the 3rd headwall pitch and left it in the bag 70 meters down. So I ended up using every single brassy that I had and just hoping to God that they weren't gonna rip. And I was gonna take another 40 footer and honestly lose the record. Not make it in time. That might be the smallest nut that they make. Let's see. Yep. Oh my gosh. Here we are. Trying to finish it off. What time is it? Oh shit, okay. I think I'm gonna do it.
Let's go!
Immediately after topping out the Salathe, there was a lot of relief and excitement and joy, just a lot of emotions to process. So I didn't think anything about the future at that point. I was just purely living in the moment. But of course, once you go to sleep and start hiking down the next day, you think, what else is possible?
I really respect those that overcome the challenge without taking on an obscene amount of risk. It's what Brant accomplished with fully roped ascent. It was really impressive.
The day of, yes, I was nervous, but I was also really excited because I guess the majority of me knew that he would do it.
And word has it that some man named Alex is headed up on the Salathe right now to try to take that record from me. But records were meant to be broken.